and welcome back to another episode of Priceless Convos. Today we have a counselor in session. Her name is Miss Stephanie Burrel. She's a licensed professional counselor associate in the state of Texas. Her desire is to create a safe and empowering space that promotes personal growth and personal development. Counseling is a profession that she feels divinely connected to, and she has firsthand witnessed professional, personal growth for individuals and that they can benefit with the right support. So, hi, Stephanie. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited to have you. I'm excited to have you. Um, we're talking about taking breaks. We're talking about taking breaks as boss ladies, all of these different things, terms that the hats that we carry, right?
Yeah.
So jumping right into it, what I wanted to ask you is, well, let me go back. Ooh, rewind, guys. Stephanie, introduce yourself. You're gonna say, how did I just start talking? Stephanie, introduce yourself.
Eager to get into the conversation, and so am I. And there's no problem with that. So my name is Stephanie. I'm a mental health therapist. I'm a two-time faith-based author. You can find my books. I have one devotional, 100 dates with. So I have two devotionals actually. So one is a healing devotional. Chronicles of a Caring God, Healing for Hurting Hearts is a 30-day devotional. And then my second book is 100 Dates with Jesus, 100 fun, unconventional ways to strengthen your relationship with Jesus. I used to have my girlfriends ask me all the time, like, how are you spending so much time with him? I can't sit and read my Bible. And I'm like, girl, I am dating him. Like, we're going on dates. We're going to get coffee. We're going to get ice cream. And so I felt the Holy Spirit say, let's just write a whole book about 100 different ways that people can strengthen their relationship and cultivate deeper intimacy. And so it's such a fun book, such a fun read. Both books are wherever you can find books. And then I'm the owner of Arabella Counseling, where is what you talked about. I see individuals, I see couples, I do group counseling, and I see adolescents. So I'm super stoked about this conversation because as a boss woman who has her hands in a lot of different things, I have had to learn that rest is imperative, it's non-negotiable.
Absolutely non-negotiable.
Yes.
Non-negotiable. What is the indicator that a business owner, leader, whatever we're doing online, these brands, these hats that we wear, what is the indicator that you need a break?
Oh my goodness. So it's going to be different for each individual. But I would say when you're noticing that your patience is a lot thinner than it normally is. You're noticing that you don't have the concentration that you need. You're not retaining information well. Maybe you are struggling to sleep. So maybe you're experiencing insomnia. Maybe it's a little bit of hypersomnia where you're oversleeping. Maybe you're noticing that you're more withdrawal from your peers, the people that you love and care about, where you would go and, value community. Now you want to be alone a lot of the time. Or you just notice that there is a significant change in your disposition, your demeanor, not just towards life, but in the way that you're presenting. This is so funny, but I always tell people, if you see that my edges are not done, know that my mental health is in shambles and I need to take a break. Because those it's small things that we all individually care about that are unique to who we are.
True.
And when those things start to dwindle, that's an indication that I need to take a step back and I need to reboot.
Yeah, I never thought about that. What is the things that we're normal used to doing, and if people don't see us doing it again? That's a good point. I never thought about that. Now it's really making me like think for myself, like what is it that like if it would be, I think chaos. I don't operate well in chaos. But then the people around me will probably say like, hey, if everything's a mess, you need to go take a break because this is not you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh. When I asked a question about indicators, because so often we think of indicators such as just like the major things, such as, oh, I'm depressed, that's an indicator. Oh, I have anxiety, that's an indicator. But it's good to know that there are small things that lead up to the big thing.
Absolutely. It usually it is the small things, right? Those
Mhm.
small moments where you're noticing I am not myself,
Mhm.
right? Whether that be I left the house and I left food on the stove. I
Mhm.
left the house and I didn't put on the right pair of shoes, or I spent a significant amount of time, scrolling on social media instead of doing the things that I actually probably should be focusing on. Those small things, or my diet has changed. I've been eating a lot of comfort food. I'm eating a lot of fast food.
Mhm.
But normally I'm a person who will take the time to cook. It's like the more that you learn about yourself and you start really honoring your own existence, it's going to
Mhm.
become very easy to notice when something is off kilter in your life.
Wow. So now I feel guilty.
No guilt, no shame.
Let me tell you why, because there are times like, and I know there's many people that go through this. When we're scrolling on TikTok, till that lady comes up and tell us like, go to bed, take a break. Did you take a break?
Yes, they're like, drink some water. You need to get a snack. And I'm just scrolling past because I'm like, you don't know what's best for me. You're probably right, but I'm not gonna go do that. I'm gonna finish looking at the nonsense.
Yes, and even that brings me to another part is doing that, because sometimes we do it as a form of like break, I guess, in that sense, taking that like
Yes.
yeah. Is that, would a therapist consider that like a bit of a break?
I think it could be because for a lot of people it is relaxing because it doesn't cause your brain to have to think in depth and use the
Mhm.
executive functioning. You're just
Mhm.
able to just scroll. But I would say like aimlessly. But I would say when you're spending a significant amount of time on it and then it's leading you to now go to TikTok shop and now maybe you're spending money that you don't have. I
Mhm.
think I would caution people against that and I would say maybe be leery, put a timer on your phone.
Mhm.
Um the
Mhm.
best thing to do is to get outside, get in nature, go sit down and allow your brain to rest. Though you think that that's a place or a position of rest for you, is it really? Because your mind is still having to engage in some capacity
Mhm.
and focus
Mhm.
its attention on something, be it a 30-second video,
Yeah.
it still has to direct its attention to that thing. And then we don't want to build up a brain habit of social media is where I go to rest.
That is true. So it's like finding that balance.
Finding the balance and going back to honoring your own existence, right? How about when we rest, we actually take a break away from electronics because that stimulates different things. That stimulates our eyes, our retina, that stimulates our brain. We can have physiological reactions to stuff that we see. Say you're going to rest on social media and now you just saw something that was traumatic and now you're experiencing vicarious trauma, but that was where you went to rest.
Oh, very true.
You
Oh my
can't gauge what the algorithm is gonna throw at you.
Mhm. That is so true. That, oh my God. That one hit my core. You know why? Because there are times like things are trending on social, and there was a TikToker who like showed how to filter out the topics that you don't want to
Yep.
see. And ever since I learned that, it has been like night and day as far as in like what do I want to see or what do I want to see, you know? So
Yes,
yeah, there was a so that has helped me to kind of manage what shows up, because there are some conversations that you don't want to engage in, that
100%.
you don't care about at this time for
Yes.
specific reasons.
Mhm.
And so it's so important that, or that you just don't want to hear about 20,000 times.
That part. That part.
Oh my God. That you just, so it's, I like how you mentioned that, how sometimes it can be. So it's not good and bad things about social. I never thought about
Absolutely.
it that way. So when you mention about honoring your own existence, what exactly do you mean about, like, mean from that term?
Yeah. So I'm really big on honoring your own existence because you can't expect everyone else to care for you well if you're not caring for yourself well. That's really what it means at the basis.
Mhm.
How am I caring for myself in a way that helps to keep me healthy, whole, sane? where I'm
Mhm.
functioning at optimal level, right? So for me, what does it look like to honor my own existence? That looks like getting up a little bit earlier than I need to for work, to spend some time in my word, to drink
Mhm.
my coffee, to
Mhm.
look outside. That means
Mhm.
going and taking breaks with my dog, putting time restrictions on my social media usage on my phone,
Mhm.
not eating out every single day, incorporating exercise, treating myself the way that I would like for others to treat me.
Mhm.
But now I treat myself that way. So then when I get it from other people, it's a bonus. But it
Mhm.
doesn't cause me to look for my validation to come from external things. I'm validating myself throughout the day. You're
Hmm.
okay. Okay, I feel like you need a break, right? When I say my edges aren't done, that means that my mental health is probably declining and I need to
Mhm.
take a step back. That's what it means to honor your own existence, implementing boundaries. And we
Mhm.
need boundaries in every aspect of our lives.
We
Checking
do.
in with myself. I feel like we load up our schedules to the point where we don't even incorporate time to check in to see, how am I actually doing? How am I actually feeling?
I feel like I'm in therapy, but it's true.
Stop.
It's so true. It's so true because, like, think about, like, I know this is not about me and this is about y'all, but
This is
you know,
good. This is
it is good, and it's like I have the detailed plan for all the clients. I have it planned out when I'm gonna check in with their projects, when I'm gonna check in on the companies overall. But like, when is Sajay gonna check in on Sajay?
yeah.
Get the tissue because this is real therapy right here. This is
Oh.
get me the sofa to lay down on. Like, this is
Yeah.
real. But it's so true. When do we schedule that time in to check in on ourselves?
And it's
Um,
imperative.
mhm.
I've literally gotten to a place where I put it on my calendar. You know how you have your whole schedule planned out for the day?
Yeah.
I actually now block out 20 minutes on my calendar every single day, no matter what, to check in with Stephanie. How is my heart today? And then what do I need? Because again, I can't look for other people to fulfill the things that
Mhm.
I need, or just to know, to be able to read my mind, or to be able to read between the lines. No,
Mhm.
what do I need to hear today? And then I say that back to myself. Like a couple days ago, I was driving to work and I knew I was like, I had a family situation happen. And so my heart was just aching for a family member. And I was driving to work and I said, Stephanie, how are you doing? Like, how's your heart? I was like, ooh, my heart feels heavy. And I said to myself, well, what do you need to hear today? And what I needed to hear was that there was a fresh start waiting for me whenever I needed it.
Mhm.
I said it to myself. But getting to a place where you're that intentional, where you put it on the calendar and you block the time off, that it will not be interfered with at all.
Mhm.
I would do it for a friend
True. True.
and a heartbeat.
That is so
Why
true.
not render that same level of love and care to myself?
Yeah. Listen, I'm about to throw this pen at you. Oh my god.
I don't know what
Mhm.
keeps happening to my camera. It keeps saying
It's
it's
okay.
black.
We not even they gon' y'all gonna get the audio because I don't even want to edit it. Like, it's okay. It's okay. But it's so true. We would, like, if a friend need us, we would pick up the phone. We would drive the 20 minutes and do something. So like,
Yep.
what about us? Like, can't we schedule in time for ourselves? Oh my god.
Mm.
That is real. That is so real. I did not even know this was gonna go like this. I did not.
Oh.
I'm over here with notes. Like, that is true. I never thought about it that way, and it shows because I feel like in the online space currently, a lot of business owners are realizing that, like, we've all been through a space of having the clients, um, having this and that, but then there's so many other dreams that have not been fulfilled. And
Yep.
perhaps it comes from because we're not really making time for it. So it's so
That's
many
good.
things schedule out.
Yeah.
Um, I went through that similar process, but I noticed it's a similar conversation being had online. Everyone
Mm.
was like, no, now is my time. I'm changing to this, changing to that. And when you look at the core of why they're changing, um, it's the similar conversation of I need to do this for me. I need to take a leap of faith and try this. And it's similar things. Oh my God. Y'all, if you're gonna watch this, I really hope y'all get y'all tissues ready because this is good. This is honestly good. Like, so okay. When it comes to the CEO breaks and not taking a CEO break, right? Like not taking that time to care for yourself, what, like, let's say someone goes without, maybe unintentionally, maybe intentionally goes without taking a break. At what point should they realize that they need help? Like what what is evident that, like, okay, now is time for me to get like mental health help? What is that time that someone can look at a business owner and say, hey, you need to get help, right? Because people always say, oh, check in with a friend, mental health is real.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at what friend do I mean, at what time do I look on my friend and say, hey girl, I think you should go to therapy. You want me to recommend you to this therapist? How do I identify it in my friend?
Yeah. So I'll say this, people who often need help often look a lot like people who don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have to be intentional about just checking in. For me too, especially like my core group of friends,
Mm-hmm.
I notice when their energy changes. If this is my friend, right? If I'm looking, you're saying, how can I know? If this is one of my girlfriends who is always pretty active on social media, I'm not really seeing them doing or liking or doing anything at all on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me go and just check in and see if they're okay. I'm a big believer on, like, I pray for my friends. So I always will ask the Holy Spirit, is there anybody that I need to be checking in on a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
But when you see a shift in their demeanor, in their energy, in their activity,
Mm-hmm.
check in on them. Or if you know that you have a friend who is always the happy, bubbly, excited, joyful person in the group, but rarely has the courage to share when they're not in a good place,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's a person that you check in more frequently.
Yeah.
I schedule text messages.
Mm-hmm.
If my friend comes across my mind at 3 o'clock in the morning and I know I can't send her a message, I'm going to schedule to send her a message in the morning right there at 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I
Hmm.
think it just goes into being more intentional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a good way to put it. Um, now it makes that conversation like wonder, like, are we really even being intentional about like checking on our friends, or are we just resharing the infamous post?
That
Mhm.
part,
Mhm.
that part, because we do that a lot.
Mhm.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all are, right? Like we all like share, but like, are we intentional on checking on our friends?
Yeah.
Making sure that they're okay and being able to just listen and not
Yeah.
offer any advice to really hear if they really need help or not.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It just keeps going in and out.
Okay. Y'all should
I
know
was
by now.
gonna
This is unedited. You guys should know that.
I was gonna say too, like, social media is not real. Like, I think we need to,
Mhm.
that is a two-dimensional reality that is embedded in a device. And so
Mhm.
remembering that that's not real. Bring yourself back to real life and what's necessary to uphold a strong friendship. You have to check in, and it has to be outside of a two-dimensional reality where we're able to post the highlight reels.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that you mentioned that it's not real, right? I think a lot of individuals have been uncovering this over the past few months, especially since the pandemic era. And people have realized, not because someone posts a receipt that they made $1 million in business, it doesn't mean that they made $1 million in business. Because what was happening was that, someone maybe new saw that they made this amount of money, and then all of a sudden they are working nonstop to meet
Mm-hmm.
this status, or to meet the status of going shopping at the Gucci store, stuff like that. And so that was leading individuals to not taking a break and causing, I think, a lot of anxiety. I had
Absolutely.
a lot of anxiety. So that would lead me to, if you're in a season where maybe you have to work a lot, because maybe family needs, right now we've got a crazy economy, things like that. How could what yeah, how could someone take a break? Whether it's besides the check-in, are vacations considered breaks? Is exercise? What do you recommend for like daily, weekly, and stuff like that, please?
Yes, yes, yes. And again, I do not know what is going on with the camera, so it keeps going in and out, and I'm so sorry.
Mhm,
Um, but I would say, like, yes, vacations are a break, but you need to create a life for yourself that you don't feel the need to regularly escape from. A
mhm,
vacation is an escape. What are you
mm,
doing on a daily basis to create a life that you
mm,
don't need to regularly escape from? It's not the brunches, it's not the seminars, the conferences, the vacations. Self-care is a daily act. And so that's
mm,
what needs to be implemented. I always say that's my superpower. And it's
mhm,
not the big things that you do, which is kind of what we talked about earlier in the segment. It's those small intentional things. For me, changing my sheets multiple times a week. That for me is self-care. I feel
mhm,
good. I feel restful. I feel like at a state of peace when I get into a clean bed.
mhm,
Drinking water, right? Again, I keep going back to some of the same things, like maybe taking a shower every day. Things that make you feel good, that are a moment of like woosah, like
yeah,
whoo.
feel good stuff. Hmm.
That's important because we've gotten into the whole, oh, let's go to brunch and
Mhm,
let's take that vacation and that's going to make me feel better. But the thing is, the life that you're leaving is still there when you come back. What are
mhm,
you doing to
mhm,
enhance the life that you have
mhm,
instead of running from opposition? How are you
mhm,
learning to build your resiliency to maintain a certain level of peace in the midst of a chaotic world?
mhm. Yeah,
Self-care, it's a daily decision.
yeah. Pastor Keon Henderson, I was watching his online streaming yesterday, and he mentioned the same thing about, like, you can go on vacation and come back and all the problems are still there. Um, you know, so
Yes.
it's just absolutely true. So I like how you mentioned the feel good stuff, right? Because we're typically seeing self-care being related, or even the break, like it's being related. Self-care is popular being related to only skincare, you know,
You know, good.
like it's beyond
Yes.
that.
Go get a pedicure. Okay.
Mhm,
And then what?
mhm.
My
Yeah,
nails
like
look nice and I'm still sad.
exactly. Like so, and then it's true because maybe that doesn't even make you feel good, right?
Yeah,
Um, so it's basically finding the things that make you feel good and
absolutely.
that you are doing that to equivalent to self-care. In other words, taking a break from your business, taking a CEO break. Love.
Absolutely.
That
I
is
like
exactly it. That's exactly it.
I like that.
So for the people that want to work with you and get all your amazingness, because clearly
Yay.
you're doing,
Thank you. You're sweet.
do you only work with individuals in Texas, globally? How do you work?
Yeah. So under my practice, I do like support groups. With a support group, I can work with, they're all online and I can work with people from all over the United States, but for specifically for therapy, whether it be individual or couples counseling. I am only doing that with my license is in Texas, so I work with Texas residents. But when I do post, I post it on my page, typically my Instagram or my Facebook page. You'll see the groups and it'll say open to all. But if you're specifically looking for therapeutic services, if you are a Texas resident, I am accepting new clients and I love working with people. Like you said in the bio, I feel divinely called to being a therapist. I've seen how it can be a catalyst for change in my own
Mhm,
personal life and others' lives. And so I always say Arabella Counseling is where listening leads to healing. And so that's always my goal. And yes.
I love that. I love that. It seems like you definitely. I like how you are a faith-based counselor.
Yeah.
So important for so many, including myself, to have that. As the foundations are different, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely like that for sure. I feel like there is a lack of known faith-based counselors. A lot
Yeah.
of people talk about it, but then it's like sometimes we can't necessarily find faith-based counselors.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be providing you as a resource to some.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
really
I always
excited.
say Christianity and psychology, they can coexist. Like God is not at odds with psychology.
Yeah, yeah.
He invented it.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. Like he designed every piece of our minds, the way we think.
Mhm.
Someone had to study it so that way it could then be understood and give us the help because we all have our
Absolutely.
gifts. We all have our different
Absolutely.
gifts. So I love that. I love that. Okay, so guys, anything else? Like, well, before I say so, guys, anything else you have before we wrap up?
I think the last thing that I would just add, if I could give a final thought, is that like there's no reward for being burned out,
Mhm,
overextended, depleted. There is no reward for that.
mhm,
Rest is not something that you earn, it's
mhm,
something that you need. You have to stop saying, I don't have time to rest, because you don't have time not to rest. Everything in your life relies on the way that you care for yourself. So be intentional about that relationship, the relationship between you and you. Be intentional about that. Schedule the time out on your actual calendar if that's how what you need to do to ensure that you are checking in with yourself and you are tending to your own social, emotional, and psychological well being. Don't do for everybody else, all the while leaving yourself hanging. That's it.
heavy on that part. Heavy on that part.
Heavy. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you for joining. I really do appreciate it, guys. Listen, don't forget to subscribe, follow on social media, both for me and Stephanie. And of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below. I'll be sure to drop all the information on how you may contact Stephanie. And thank y'all for watching another episode of Priceless Convos. Bye, y'all.